It is 10:43 on a rainy Tuesday night when you first walk into the Bellamar Hotel. The lobby smells faintly of damp carpet and old furniture polish. Half the chandelier bulbs are dead. A plastic bucket catches water dripping from the ceiling beside a grand piano no one has played in years. Behind the front desk, a tired receptionist argues with a guest who says the air conditioning in his room has stopped working again. The owner watches from across the lobby. He is 72, exhausted, and 3 months behind on payments to the bank. 20 years ago, the Bellamar was one of the most recognizable boutique hotels in Miami Beach. Musicians stayed here. Film crews rented entire floors. Couples held weddings beneath the glass ceiling in the ballroom. Now the restaurant closes before dinner because almost nobody comes. The rooftop bar has been locked for 2 years. Online reviews describe the rooms as charming, dated, noisy, moldy, and occasionally terrifying. The building is beautiful. The business inside it is dying. The owner gives you 14 days to decide. You have spent 16 years managing hotels for other people. You have watched wealthy owners ignore obvious problems, cut the wrong costs, and blame employees when guests stopped returning. You have always believed you could do better. Standing in that broken lobby, you see what the spreadsheets do not show. The curved staircase is still magnificent. The Art Deco exterior still turns heads. The hotel sits 3 blocks from the ocean, surrounded by restaurants, nightlife, and properties, charging 3 times more per night. You do not see a failing hotel, you see a forgotten one. The bank values the property highly because of the location, but the hotel loses hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. The current owner wants out before foreclosure strips away what little control he has left. Your lawyer tells you to walk away. Your accountant tells you to run. Instead, you make an offer. To buy the hotel, renovate it, and keep enough cash to survive the reopening, you need almost $50 million. You put in everything you have. Then you convince 2 investors to provide the rest. One is Elena Ward, a real estate investor who believes the land alone protects her money. The other is Marcus Hale, a private equity executive who speaks about the hotel as if it is already part of a larger portfolio. You promise them a modern luxury property with 96 rooms, a restored ballroom, a rooftop lounge, a new restaurant, and enough prestige to charge premium rates. Marcus asks how long the transformation will take. You say 18 months. It takes 28. The renovation begins with cosmetic plans and ends with workers opening walls that seem determined to punish you for being optimistic. The plumbing is corroded. The electrical system cannot support modern rooms. The elevators require a complete replacement. Moisture has spread behind several walls. The rooftop structure needs reinforcement before it can safely hold the pool and bar you showed investors in the presentation. Every discovery comes with a number: 300,000, 700,000, another million. You stop sleeping properly. You begin eating dinner from construction site vending machines. Your phone becomes a machine that delivers bad news in different voices. One contractor disappears. A shipment of custom windows arrives damaged. The city delays an inspection. Marcus calls every Friday asking the same question: are we still on budget? Eventually, you stop saying yes, but then opportunity arrives. A major international fashion event announces that it will take place in Miami during the month of your planned reopening. Hotels begin filling across the city. If the Bellamar opens in time, the launch could be enormous. You accelerate everything. Workers move through the building day and night. Furniture arrives while painters are still finishing walls. The restaurant kitchen receives final approval 48 hours before opening. The hotel is not completely ready, but the photographs look ready. That is enough. The Bellamar reopens beneath warm lights, polished brass, and a new name displayed above the entrance: the Bellamar Grand. The opening night feels like revenge against everyone who told you to walk away. Every room is booked. The rooftop is filled with designers, executives, and influencers. The restaurant has a waiting list. Cameras flash in the lobby where the bucket once caught rainwater. You stand beneath the restored chandelier and watch strangers photograph the hotel you nearly destroyed yourself trying to save. Marcus shakes your hand. Elena tells you the property may already be worth far more than you paid. For the first time in almost 3 years, you allow yourself to believe you were right. The next morning, your financial director closes the office door. The opening week was full. It was also deeply unprofitable. Many rooms were discounted to attract event guests. Influencers stayed free. Online booking platforms took commissions from hundreds of reservations. The rooftop party cost more than it earned. Complimentary food, transportation, and promotional packages swallowed much of the remaining revenue. The hotel looked successful because it was crowded, but much of that crowd had been purchased. You tell yourself it does not matter. The exposure will create future demand. For several weeks, it does. The rooftop appears across social media. Travel accounts call the Bellamar Grand the newest luxury escape in Miami. Reservations rise, you increase staffing, you expand restaurant hours, you hire additional bartenders, housekeepers, and security. Then the fashion event ends, the city empties slightly, and your bookings fall with it. At first you lower prices by 10%, then 15%, then 20%. Occupancy rises again. The lobby is busy. The elevators are full. Housekeeping struggles to turn rooms quickly enough, but the hotel still does not generate enough cash. Your least expensive guests use the same air conditioning, towels, elevators, and staff as the guests paying premium rates. Many book through platforms that take a commission. They eat elsewhere, skip the spa, and leave after one night. You have filled the hotel with people who make it look successful but leave very little money behind. The transformation cost $50 million. The debt payments do not care whether the guests received a discount. Neither does payroll, neither does insurance, neither does the electricity bill required to cool an old building under the Miami sun. You begin to understand something the previous owner learned too late. A room is not valuable because someone sleeps in it. It is valuable only if the price they pay exceeds everything required to serve them. Then a celebrity changes everything again. A globally famous singer stays at the Bellamar Grand before a performance. She posts one photograph from the rooftop pool. Within hours, reservations surge. The hotel becomes difficult to book. Guests arrive hoping to see famous people. Influencers begin filming in hallways. The rooftop fills every night. You raise prices. For the first time, the numbers begin moving in the right direction. Marcus calls it proof of concept. You call it momentum. Your staff calls it chaos. Longtime guests complain about noise. Housekeepers find strangers filming inside restricted areas. People who are not staying at the hotel crowd the lobby. Security costs increase. So do damages, but the money is finally coming in, and you are too frightened to slow it down. Then, during a private rooftop party, a guest climbs onto a decorative ledge near the pool. He falls. He survives, but someone records the entire incident. By sunrise, the video is everywhere. The Bellamar is no longer famous for its restoration. It is famous for losing control. The singer deletes her photograph. 3 major events cancel. Negative reviews multiply. Marcus demands that you shut down the rooftop. You refuse. It is one of the hotel's largest sources of revenue. 2 days later, a tropical storm forms near the coast. The forecast worsens by the hour. A wedding scheduled for Saturday is cancelled. The couple has reserved 42 rooms. The ballroom, catering, and the rooftop. Their event was supposed to carry the hotel through the month. Instead, you evacuate guests and cover windows, while wind bends palm trees outside. Water enters through part of the restaurant roof. The kitchen floods. Several rooms suffer damage. For 4 days, the Bellamar earns almost nothing, but the debt continues. The payroll continues. The building continues consuming money even while nearly empty. At midnight on the 3rd day, you walk through the darkened hotel alone. 96 rooms sit behind 96 closed doors. You cannot store those empty nights and sell them next week. When midnight passes, each one disappears forever. The storm moves away. The financial damage does not. Marcus arrives with a solution. A global hotel group wants to buy the Bellamar Grand. The offer would repay the bank, protect the investors, and leave you with enough money to walk away comfortably. There is only one condition. You lose control immediately. The group will close the restaurant, replace much of the staff, and convert the hotel into one of its standardized luxury brands. You reject the offer. Marcus does not argue. That frightens you more than anger would have. The next morning, Eleanor sends you documents showing that Marcus has been speaking with the hotel group for months, before the reopening, before the rooftop accident, before the storm. He never expected the Bellamar to become a lasting independent hotel. He expected you to increase the property's value, exhaust yourself, and eventually sell when the debt became unbearable. Now he gives you 90 days. Improve the hotel's cash flow, or the investors will force a sale. You begin by doing the one thing you resisted throughout the entire project. You admit that your original idea was wrong. The Bellamar will never beat giant resorts by pretending to be one. It has fewer rooms, fewer amenities, and less marketing power, so you stop selling generic luxury. You close the rooftop to uncontrolled public parties and convert it into a private event space. You reduce discounts. You stop chasing guests who only want the cheapest available room. You bring back Rosa, the former front office manager who resigned during the celebrity chaos. She has worked at the hotel for 23 years and knows returning guests by name. She tells you the Bellamar's greatest advantage is not the renovation, it is memory. Couples were married there, families returned every summer, artists stayed for months. The hotel once made people feel recognized. You had spent $50 million modernizing the building and almost erased the very thing that made it different. Rosa contacts former guests. The bartender recreates cocktails from the hotel's past. The ballroom begins hosting smaller, highly personalized weddings. The restaurant shortens its menu and focuses on guests and events instead of trying to become the busiest restaurant in Miami. You stop measuring success by how crowded the lobby looks. You begin measuring whether each guest, wedding, and event leaves the hotel stronger than before. Progress is slow. Then a travel journalist checks in under another name. You do not know who she is. She receives no free suite, no rooftop party, and no special performance prepared for social media. She simply watches. She sees Rosa greet an elderly couple who held their wedding at the hotel 30 years earlier. She sees an employee carry a birthday cake to a guest without being asked. She hears the story of the restoration. 2 weeks later, her article appears. It does not praise the marble or the pool. It describes the Bellamar Grand as a hotel that almost became another beautiful, forgettable property and somehow recovered its soul. Reservations increase again. This time they are different. More guests book directly. Couples reserve weddings months in advance. Companies hold private retreats. Guests eat at the restaurant because it feels connected to the hotel rather than attached to it. The building is not full every night, but the guests who come pay enough, stay longer, and spend throughout the property. The hotel finally produces consistent cash. On the 87th day, Marcus returns. The global group has increased its offer. You could sell now and make more money than you have ever seen. For years, owning the Bellamar was the dream. Then keeping full control nearly destroyed it. So you choose something between victory and surrender. You sell a minority stake to the group, use the money to reduce the debt and negotiate protections for the hotel's name, staff, and identity. Marcus exits. Elena stays. You remain the largest individual owner, but no longer carry the entire building on your back. 3 years after the purchase, you stand once again beneath the chandelier. The lobby is busy but not chaotic. A wedding is beginning upstairs. The rooftop is reserved for a corporate dinner. Rosa is speaking with returning guests at the desk. You spent $50 million believing that if you made an old hotel look expensive, wealthy people would fill it and success would follow. You were wrong. The renovation saved the building, but it nearly killed the business. The hotel survived only when you stopped chasing crowds, stopped confusing fame with loyalty, and stopped believing that ownership meant refusing to share control. You bought a failing hotel because you thought it needed new rooms. What it really needed was a reason for people to return.